Hey, fellow problem solvers, Colfax Math here. Today's video is we're finally going to just get fractions figured out. So we're going to go over how to add and subtract fractions with a common denominator and also without a common denominator, how to do that. It is an essential skill to do well on any standardized math exam, especially on the ASVAB, and especially any exam that is timed and there are no calculators allowed on it. So I have a bunch of practice problems. I'm going to go over fractions first, how to add and subtract them. And then I have a bunch of practice problems and then some multiple choice practice problems that you might see on a standardized exam like the ASVAB. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in right here. Adding and subtracting fractions is really the same. The only difference between adding and subtracting is the difference in sign, plus or minus. There are three key rules when you add or subtract fractions. Number one, you never add or subtract the denominators. So in a fraction, it is just one number over another number. The top number is called the numerator, the bottom number the denominator. So you have one of two parts. When you're adding fractions together, you never add the bottom number. Rule number two, before you can add or subtract fractions, they have to have the same denominator, known as a common denominator. So that bottom number has to be the same before you add or subtract them. And rule number three, always simplify your final answer. Just the overall idea of having that common denominator, what you're saying is you got two pizzas. They're the same large pizza, but one is cut into 6 slices, the other is cut into 8 slices. You can't really figure out how equivalent they are until they have that common denominator. How much pizza did you eat if you ate one from the first and one from the second? Well, you have 1/6 plus 1/8. You have to have that common denominator. If you don't have common denominators, it's like you're adding apple and oranges together. All right, so again, let me recap those 3 rules. You never add the bottom numbers. Before you add, you have to have a common denominator, and then you simplify your answer. Here's a step-by-step guide, and there are 2 different cases. Case A, when they have the common denominator. Case B, when they have different denominators. So case A is really easy. The bottom number is the same. It is 7. You could write it that way, especially you'll see that on a computer. Or you could write it this way, 2/7 plus 3/7. It has the same bottom number. It has a common denominator. I just add across the top. 2 plus 3 is 5. And I keep that common denominator, a 7 right there. So that's if they have the same denominator. Now let's look at case B, different denominators. This is called unlike fractions when they have different denominators. Okay, so the first thing you have to do before you could add 1/4 and 1/3 is you have to find the least common denominator. So I am looking for a number that the 4 will go into and the 3 will go into. Well, 4 will go into 4, 4 will go into 8, 3 won't go into 4 or 8, 4 will go into 12, 3 will go into 12 as well. So that is the least common denominator is going to be 12. So what I have is I have 1/4 plus 1/3, and I need a common denominator. We said that common denominator is going to be 12. So I got to turn that 4 into a 12. I do that by multiplying it by 3. Let me write that again. So I need to multiply it by 3. If I multiply it by 3, or 1/3, it's going to change the value of it. The only way I can multiply it is multiply it by 1 so it doesn't affect the value. So I'm going to multiply it by 3/3. 3/3 is the equivalent of 1. So when I multiply by 3/3, it doesn't change the value of it. I'm just multiplying it by 1. That's going to give me 3/12. And then on the second fraction, I have 1/3. How do I turn that 3 into a 12? Well, I need to multiply it by 4. Same thing, I can't just multiply it by 1 over 4. I could only multiply it by 1 so as not to affect the value. So that second fraction, I'm going to multiply by 4 over 4 to get 4/12. Now I have that common denominator. Well, it is not pretty. I have that common denominator of 12. Now I just add across the top to get 7, and I keep that common denominator 12. Can I reduce that? No, there's no number that'll go into 7 and 12. I'm all done. So 2 cases. If I have that common denominator, I add across the top, keep the common denominator. If I don't have a common denominator, I got to find my least common denominator, the number that both will go into, convert the fractions into that common denominator by multiplying by factors of 1. Then I add across the top, keep that common denominator the same. All right, so with all that said, go ahead and do some of these right here. Make sure you have paper and pencil out. Do the problem before I do it. Okay, so we have common denominators. I have 1/5 plus 2/5. That common denominator is 5. That stays the same. 1 plus 2 is 3. That's all there is. I look to see if I could reduce. I can't. Now I have 7/9 minus 4/9. I have that common denominator. 7 minus 4 is equal to 3 over 9. But I see that 3 is divisible by 3, as is 9. So 3 goes into here 1 time, 3 goes into 9, 3 times. I reduce 3/9 to 1/3. They are both equivalent fractions, but the 1/3 is reduced. Okay, number 3, I have that common denominator. I add across the top 4. I keep that common denominator 8. Then I reduce. 4 goes into 4 1 time. 4 goes into 8 2 times, giving me 1/2. We're just going to keep building on these skills. And again, I know I said it before, but fractions are all over the place in any standardized math exam. And surprisingly, adding and subtracting is a harder operation. All right, number 4, give it a try. I have 11/12 minus 5/12. That is going to give me 6 over that common denominator 12. 6 goes into 6 1 time, into 12 2 times. Reduce 6/12 to 1/2. Right, let's start a new section. Different common denominators. Go ahead, pause the video, give these 2 a try. Unpause the video, watch how I do them. So I have 1/2 plus 1/4. My common denominator, the number that both those bottom numbers will go into, will be 4. So that first one, I need that 2 to be a 4. I'm going to multiply it by 2 over 2. Again, I am multiplying it by a 1. Doesn't change the value of it, but it will give me that common denominator. That is going to give me 2/4. That first fraction plus the second fraction. Now, just like I did with that first section, I have that common denominator. I add across the top to get 3, and I keep that common denominator 4. Can't reduce that. Number 6, I have 2/3 minus 1/6. Common denominator here is going to be 6. I'm already there with this one. But here I need to multiply it by 2. I can't just multiply the bottom by 2. It'll change the value of it. So I multiply by 2 over 2, the equivalent of 1. That is going to now give me 4 over 6 minus 1 over 6. 4 minus 1 is 3. Keep that common denominator 6. I'm all done. Then I look to simplify. 3 goes into 3 1 time. 3 goes into 6 2 times, giving me 1/2. All right, moving right along here to number 7, getting a little bit harder. Go ahead and give these a try. Here I have 3/5 plus 1/2. Well, I'm looking for numbers they both go into. That's going to be 10, right? 5, 10. The only number 2 will go into is 10. So to get a 10 in the bottom, I multiply this by 2 over 2. Doesn't change the value, but it gives me 6 over 10. The second one, I multiply by 5 over 5 to get 5/10. I do all that to get that common denominator. Now I add across the top to get 11 over that common denominator of 10. I could convert that into a mixed number because the numerator 11 is greater than the denominator 10. 10 goes into 11 one time with, one time with 1 left over. So I could leave it as an improper fraction, 11/10, or convert that to 1 1/10. Number 8, I have 5/8 minus 1/4. Again, I need that common denominator. It's going to be 8. How do I turn that 4 into an 8? I multiply by a 2 over 2. That's going to give me 5/8 minus 2/8. 5 minus 2 is 3. Keep that common denominator of 8. Correct answer is 3/8. Make sure you're doing this before I do them, and then we'll get to some word problems. Number 9, 5, 6 plus 1/3. What's my common denominator? It's going to be 6. Multiply this by a 2 over 2. That's going to give me a 6 in the bottom. So I have 5, 6 plus 2, 6. Add across the top, 7, 6. Numerator greater than the denominator. Top number bigger than the bottom number. 6 goes into 7 one time with 1 left over. All right. Moving on to number 10. I have, pause the video to give it a try. 9/10. I got minus 2/5. Well, 5 to 10 is going to be 2, so I'm going to multiply that by 2 over 2. So it's going to be 4/10. Now I have that common denominator. 9 minus 4 is 5 over 10. I'm all done. Then I check to see if I can simplify. 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 goes into 10 two times. Correct answer is 1/2. All right, hopefully that made some sense. We'll move on to our practice ASVAB or standardized math test problems. These are a lot harder because now you got to decode the words. So let's go ahead and pause the video, give this one a try. Unpause, watch how I solve. A mechanic is rebuilding an engine and he has to stack 2 spacers. The first one is 3/8 of an inch and the second is 5/16 of an inch. What is the combined thickness? So all those words that convert into an equation, it is saying add those 2 fractions. I have 5/16 plus 3/8. So I've converted that paragraph into an equation. I see I am adding fractions. Rule number 1 is I don't add the bottom. Rule number 2 is I need a common denominator. I don't have that. So I got to find my least common multiple. That is going to be 16. I multiply this by a factor of 1 so I don't change the value of it. So I multiply by 2 over 2. That'll give me a 16 in the bottom. So now I have 5/16 plus 6/16. Add across the top. Keep that common denominator. And that rule number 3, see if you could simplify. You can't. Correct answer is 11/16. Answer B right there. If you got that one right, you're doing great. Great work. And if you didn't get that one right, keep studying, keep working at it. All right. A carpenter has a pause the video, give it a try. Unpause, watch how I do it. Carpenter has a wooden board that is 5 1/4 feet long He cuts off a piece that is 2 5/8 feet long. How much of the board is left? So how much of the board is left? This is a subtraction problem. I did check all my units. Everything's in feet. All my answers are in feet. So I got to do 5 1/4 minus 2 5/8. So there's a lot of ways we could do this, but we're talking about subtraction. I think the first thing I'm going to do is convert this 1/4. I'm going to multiply it by 2 over 2. So that's going to give me 5 2/8 minus 2 5/8. So I could see I got 2/8 minus 5/8. That's going to give me a negative number, which isn't really going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow from this 5 and make it a 4. I am borrowing 1 unit. 1 unit is 8/8, right? So I'm going to turn this 2/8. I am going to add that 1 unit to it, 8/8, to get 10/8. Now I have 10/8 minus 5/8, giving me 5/8. 4 minus 2, 2 5/8. Correct answer is answer A right there. All right, I think we got one more here. This is our last one. You can see how you got to get these foundational rules sorted out in your head first so that they make sense, that you've done enough practice problems, and then take all of that knowledge and that practice and apply it to a word problem. Pause video, give this one a try. Unpause, watch how I do it. During a recipe preparation, Sarah adds 2/3 of a cup of milk that already has 3/5 of a cup of milk. How many cups are there now? So all my units are the same. All my units and the answers are in cups. How many are there now? I am adding. So I have 2/3 plus 3/5. Actually, let me move the plus sign over a little bit. So I never add the denominators. They're different, so I have to find a common denominator. I'm going to try that 5. 5, 10, 15. Both numbers will go in a 15. I'm going to multiply this one by 3 over 3 to make it a 15. This one by 5 over 5 to make it a 15. Again, in red there, these are the equivalents of 1, so they're not affecting the value. That's going to give me 10/15 plus 9/15. Out across the top, 19/15. There's my answer. I look at the answer key, it's not there. I need to turn it into a mixed number. 15 goes into 19 one time with 4 left over. So I have 1 and 4/15. Correct answer, answer D, right there. All right, you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Any comments, I'll try and answer them as quick as I can. Please share this channel with anybody who you might know, who might be interested in being more successful on a standardized math exam. You have to have paper and pencil out. That is a way it solidifies in your head. You can't just watch videos. You got to actively participate. If you don't want to get a notebook, I have a book right here. It's available on Amazon. It's 25 chapters. You just scan that barcode on the back, and it'll take you to a playlist of 25 videos. I'll walk you through that book while you're doing the practice. It's the best way to learn your math, is a lot of practice. All right, thank you for watching.